These days, it might be hard to recall the icy relationship that existed between China and the United States just 40 years ago. Back in the 1970s, the two countries had no diplomatic relations, and in fact, their leaders didn't talk at all, except to exchange harsh words through the media. To the U.S., China was conspiring with the Soviet Union to conquer the world. To China, Americans were Yankee imperialists and evil capitalists. But then, there was a ping pong game. And almost overnight, the relationship between the two countries improved. And now China and the United States are linked through trade in other ways that might have been unthinkable just a few decades ago. This week, the Asia Society commemorated the ping pong game that brought the two nations together. Here's LinkAsia's Annie Fu.
It started with ping pong games in the spring of 1971. That's when the first group of Americans to be invited to China after the 1949 communist takeover arrived in the secretive country. Sensing an opportunity, then-President Richard Nixon arranged to visit China less than a year later. This week, the players were at Stanford to celebrate those first exhibition games almost 4 decades ago. They may look different, but they've still got some game. When asked what changes had occurred over the past 40 years, here's what this player from the 1971 Chinese team said.
My changes are obvious to anyone who can see the top of my head. What hasn't changed is friendship first, competition second.
Another major theme of the night was the older generation showing the younger generation how ping pong and sports can play a role in improving government relations.
We have players who played 40 years ago, and we have Olympic-level athletes, and we have young players, only 14 or 15 years old. They represent the past, the present, and the future. And for the future, our hope is that relations between the two countries will continue to improve.
While relations between China and the U.S. are better than they used to be, the relationship has also grown more complicated. It's unclear how they'll resolve their problems, but it's possible that ping pong will continue to play a role if the friendship of these men is any indication. They played each other 40 years ago and have been brought together through the years to play and bond over the ping pong table.
I'm very happy about these past 40 years, and I hope it continues. I hope it continues until we're 100 years old.
While events like this can sometimes feel like propaganda, there's no doubt about the genuine feelings they share for each other, and also about what they helped achieve 40 years ago. I'm Annie Fu for LinkAsia.
Link TV is the only U.S. network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs. Programs which connect you to the world. To learn more, visit linktv.org.